All right. Welcome to episode 5 of the Great Bogey podcast. I'm your host, Cameron. And today we're just going to be doing a preview of the Arnold Palmer Invitational, the uh, elevated event. It's no longer called the elevated event, signature event. Um, 69 golfers, top 50 with ties, along with anyone within 10 shots of the lead, make the 36 hole cut. That could quite literally be everyone, right? I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Probably won't happen, though. All right, so let's get into it. A few thoughts on the tournament as a whole, just based off conversations with other golf fans, other people, watching these tournaments with some stake in it, whether it's betting, just enjoy watching, what have you. It seems like for a signature event, there's not much excitement around it still, almost given the feel of, let's say, the Genesis, which the sales were knocked out of it right away as soon as Tiger withdrew. Spieth was DQ'd after round two. Um, just kind of seemed like it fell a little bit far from what the tour was hoping for. The field's a little better. It looks like, in a sense of people playing the Arnold Palmer. Um, I'll say it's star-studded, with an asterisk. Taylor Gooch is not there, unfortunately. But we've got people, established veterans, winners on the tour. You got Spieth, you got Thomas, you've got Victor Hovland, you got Homa, you got Tom Kim, who did a great. Just watched his episode of the Full Swing season 2. It was fantastic. We got Min Woo, Let Him Cook Lee. Don't really know the reference there. Does he like to cook? Not sure. Just saw it on Twitter. You got Rory. You've got Colin Morikawa. You got Scotty Scheffler. Um, excuse me. You got Xander, Jordan. I think I may have mentioned a lot of people playing in the tournament. Um, it seems like up until it being a signature event, the fields were maybe not as strong. I didn't know this, but Spieth had just started playing in it 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He's only played in it twice, tied for fourth in both times. But it just seems like it's a little lackluster when it comes to excitement, And unfortunately, that's for a lot of the tour tournaments that aren't majors, right? Um, the only one that I could really think of that has the same excitement around it is the fifth major, the Players Championship over there at TPC Sawgrass, um, which is next week. That's great. But it just seems like professional golf and the PGA Tour is in a weird spot, right? They're elevating these events, they're making them worth more money to entice, more people to come play them. It just maybe seems like the return with fan excitement may not be there. So, um, a few comments I've heard is that the golf course gets to be too hard. They get beat up the week before the players, and they're not necessarily wanting to go through that before the players. Um, the way I see it, in my experience with golfing, and I'm not a professional golfer by any stretch of the imagination, uh, I get better with reps, right? I live in a place where we have a winter, and you can't get on the golf course consistently for, let's call it, 4 or 5 months almost. Um, but as you progress through the season, your ball striking gets better, your putting gets better, all of this. So I don't understand why these guys who want to win don't play more. Anyways, um, a good field, if you ask me. Like I said, it's top 50 plus ties and anyone within 10 strokes that make it to the 36 hole cut. We're going to talk about, our dark horse winner, our, maybe not so crazy of a thought winner. And then we're going to be just going through the field, see, who's playing, um, and talk about, the tournament. So, um, the first thing I noticed is that they're just sending off Nick Dunlap by himself on Thursday and Friday, which is a little odd. Could we not add one more person? You give sponsor exemptions to, or maybe it was some sort of exemption to Webb Simpson and Adam Scott. You couldn't give out one more. You couldn't get somebody else in there to even out the playing field. Um, I'd be interested to know how Dunlap feels about it. You know, it's just going to be him and his caddy out there playing around the golf. Um, I gotta imagine he probably likes it to a certain degree, right? You're not worried about other people hitting shots. You're playing your own game, which I know they're doing that already. But them, that other, that playing partner being eliminated, uh, I wonder. I'm just curious to see how he plays. So we've got that, which is just kind of interesting, right? Not having a person, not having a field built to have an even amount. So you got CT Pan, Steven Yeager. I met Steven Yeager at a Corn Ferry event that I volunteered at up in Berthoud, Colorado, at the TPC Colorado. Really nice guy. Um, a pairing that I'm very interested in because it's got a couple young up and comers is Will Zalatoris and Minwoo Lee. I hope Willie Z has a huge year. I'd love to get him. Love for him to get a major. Would love for him to win a few times this year. So I'm interested to see that. Minwoo made a run last week. Fell a little bit short, but he's an up and coming star too that is just creating a lot of noise and a lot of buzz. Probably going off of that that piff. What is it called? That bonus. The player at the end of the year. So that's an interesting parry. Then we have go down. Chris Kirkley Hodges, Brian Harmon, Wyndham Clark, and Tom Kim. I said it at the top of the show here a few minutes ago, but I was watching some of the second season of Full Swing, and Tom Kim is such a likable kid. He's almost still a kid. He's like 21, 22 years old. Um, and he's just extremely likable after watching that episode that he was pretty much featured in. Um, I'm gonna be rooting for him for his entire career. Um, so you've got Tom Kim, Wyndham Clark, Wyndham, a Denver guy. Came onto the scene, bursting on the scene last year, winning the U.S. Open at the Los Angeles Country Club. Sam Burns and Scotty Scheffler, a couple of big names there. Another one I'm pretty interested in is Victor Hovland and Ricky Fowler. Big fan of both those guys. Um, would love for Ricky to get a major this year. There's a lot of people I'd like to get a major. Um, so unfortunately, there's more than four, but that's all we'll have this year. So, but Victor and Ricky's been a household name on the PGA Tour for a decade now. And Victor, burst onto the scene, came out firing, working on his short game. Hopefully, he continues to do that, gets better, and wins more. Then we've got Jake Knapp and Justin Thomas. Could be a sneaky good pairing. Jake Knapp's kind of burst onto the scene here the last 3 weeks, uh, and I think most people like when Justin Thomas is playing well, when he's competing. It's good for the PGA Tour. He's one of those names. He's a loyalist. He spoke out of, I'll say against Live, when the move was happening. But that could be an interesting pairing. Excuse me. Patrick Cantley and Matt Fitzpatrick seems just kind of bland and boring, and that could be their personalities. I did enjoy the Matt Fitzpatrick with his brother episode on Full Swing. If you haven't gone and watch it, just go do it. It's great. Uh, that's something that's only going to get better over time and as seasons go on. Then you have that's those are the pairings really. As I look at the sheet, that I'll say, get my gears going a little bit more than the others. I must have missed Spieth. Where are we at? Is this not on this page? I'm always watching Jordan Spieth. Yeah, I don't see it. There it is. Yeah, because there's Kurt and Max, Xander and Jordan. That'll be a good pairing. Xander, they're always talking about Xander like he's, and it's died off the last couple years, which makes sense. But I just remember them saying, "Yeah, Xander's built for majors." They said it for 2, 3 years. He just hasn't won a major. It's like, so is he really built for him? Maybe, maybe not. But that'll be a good pairing. Then you got Colin and Rory, which is another top notch pairing. One guy that I've always been behind, I'm putting some money on to top 10, top 20, pretty much every week is Ludwig Aubert. I don't know why. Just like watching the kid play. He's pretty good. Um, Overall, it's hard to get excited for Thursday, Friday on any non-major week or the players week, right? We got work, we've got kids, we've got things to do during the week that just prevent us, right, from watching Thursday golf. Uh, I'm fortunate enough to pretty much work from home when I'm not traveling for work. So I've always got, a screen, whether it's my phone, my iPad, one of the computer screens I operate on. I always got it going in the background. May not be paying 100% attention to it, but I'm taking a break. I just peek on over, watch it. Um, I enjoy it, but it just seems like it's not there for most people. I was listening to a podcast the other day, well, I guess earlier today, and they were saying just how pro golf is in such a weird movement right now. So for the recreational golfer, things are up. There's recreational golf everywhere. Trying to get a tee time in Denver, Colorado during peak season since COVID, it's impossible. And unfortunately, you're not playing around under 5 hours for the most part. It really sucks. Um, but it's good for the game too because all this money is going back into the courses. They're hopefully making good decisions with reinvestments. I don't know how many courses in the Denver metro area and surrounding suburbs, since 2020 have revamped their clubhouses, done renovations on their bunkers. It's just all over the place here. I imagine it's the same in other populated areas. Um, but yeah, it's difficult to get tee times. Recreational golf is at an all-time high, where pro golf is not, right. We're divided. We have the Live, we have the PGA Tour. Um, there doesn't seem to be any sort of merger or agreement anytime soon. And I imagine when that happens, it'll be built out to be at the beginning of a season because that just makes sense logistically in my head. Um, so pro golf's down bad, as we say. They're down bad. They're like hacking it out of the rough on their fourth shot right now on a par three. Sounds like something I'd do. That's my take on it. It's hard to get excited for Thursday, Friday. Hell, even Saturday can be tough, right? Um, it seems like the API, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, always typically could have, a good Sunday finish. Um, and as much as I enjoy a first time winner, a young guy winning on the tour, we need a big name to pull it out this week, right? If Rory comes out, wins the Arnold Palmer, if Scotty wins it again, if Spieth grabs it, one of these big PGA Tour headlining names has to win this year quickly. Um, it just seems like I said, the new guy winning, the young guy winning, that's great. They lock up their tour card. They're in these tournaments, wonderful. But we got to see the veterans win because golf is such a game of longevity. I mean, Phil Mickelson won a major when he was like 50, right? So you can win at any time. We need a veteran to win bad if you want the PGA Tour to keep any sort of momentum going when it comes to live versus the PGA, blah blah blah. So I was looking at odds earlier for this on I use FanDuel. For some reason, Hideki Matsuyama is just like plus 4,500. I'm like, he's not been playing that terrible. He won the Genesis. His ball striking was incredible. This is a ball striker's, golf course. You have to be able to hit the shots that you want to because it's going to be fast. It's going to be firm. It's going to be a difficult golf course. The rough's going to be grown out. There's a lot at stake. There's tons of good golfers going. Just really surprising to see the odds on him. Maybe there's something I don't know. Um, a few bets that I like. This is not a financial advice, but a few bets that I like. I like placing top 10 bets and doing like a two-leg parlay, three-leg parlay. I'm gonna do a two-leg here. I think Rory McIlroy, and I'm gonna go a little bit further down in the shot, and I'm gonna say Rory and excuse me, and Kurt Kitayama for top tens. Kurt won it last year. Um, that's my two-leg top 10 parlay. Take it to the bank. Um, when it comes to a dark horse winner, somebody that maybe isn't playing well or hasn't won yet on tour or is just kind of new to the tournament, I'm gonna go. Who do I want? I'd pick Akshay Bhatia again if he was in it, but he is not, and he let me down last week. He didn't make the cut, so that was a bad pick. For dark horse outright winner, the guy that's pointing out, I got a list of the field here, and the guy that's just screaming at me right now may not be such a dark horse. I'm gonna pick Tom Kim. He's got a couple PGA Tour wins. He's young. He's hungry. He's got the fire in him. So we'll call that a middle of the road pick. We'll find a different dark horse. All right, I got my dark horse. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do this. I think it'd be cool. It'd be an all right story. I'm gonna say Nick Dunlap. What if he just goes out Thursday, Friday, and just tears up the course by himself? First one out tomorrow, Thursday. We're recording this on Wednesday the 6th. Um, let's go with Nick Dunlap. Put a tenner on him. Put a 10 spot on Dunlap, outright winner. Let me know in the chat what you think about those picks. I like for a top 20 as well, just probably solo picks. I like Wyndham Clark. He's playing well. Watching his episode on the season 2 of Full Swing, he's got a good head on his shoulders now. And it was kind of cool seeing his take on himself, right? His self inflection to see what changes he made through sports psychology and how that's helped him. Clearly, it's helped him. He's won the U.S. Open, so I like him for a top 20. And let's do one more. Let's do one more top 10 solo. Top 10 solo. Let's look at it here. Let's go with our boy Victor Hovland. We're early in the season, and a lot of these guys just haven't played on the PGA, right? I think this is Rory's fourth start on the PGA Tour this year. Maybe it's the third. But Victor's one that we haven't really seen in many tournaments this year so far. Like I said, we're early. It's only March. But blink and we're about to be in the major season. We're about to be in the summer. And golf's going to be at an all-time high. So let's go with Victor Hovland, top 10. And I've been high on this guy. He's probably my favorite golfer. I watched the final round of the Masters when he won like twice last week, just playing in the background, paying attention a little bit. Met him personally. My outright winner in the last 2 years, he's tied for fourth. I'm going with Jordan Spieth. I picked him in my Pick'em league. You pick a golfer that started this week. One golfer a week you pick. You get points based off of, how much money he wins, blah, blah, blah. He's my guy this week. I'm getting him off the board early, and I think he's got a good shot to win this golf tournament. So there you have it. Jordan Spieth, outright winner. Put a 10 spot on him too. Why not? 10 spot return. I think he's at 2,200 odds, $220. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm interested to know the changes that are coming, right? Because obviously Let me back up. First of all, hilarious that Liv is reporting just millions of additional views after moving to Caffeine TV. First of all, I've never heard of Caffeine TV until they made that announcement. I can't imagine too many other people did. What are they counting as views? That being said, I did watch a couple hours here and there of the 3 rounds last week in Jeddah. Uh, I will say the Anthony Kim edition worked on me. I wanted to see. I had to see. And for a guy to go out, what did he shoot? 76, 76, 74? Something like that, right? Hasn't played professional golf in 13 years almost. For him to go out, put himself out there, he finished last, right? Did anyone expect anything different, though? If you did, maybe you're just delusional. I'm interested to see how he progresses throughout the year. I also, like I said on the last podcast, I'm very interested to hear where he's been, what he's been doing for the last 13 years. What happened, Anthony? We all want to know. It's not our business to know. It's your business to share and let us know. But I'm curious. Um, that being said, there's a lot of good players on Live. A lot of good players. Cam Smith, Brooks Koepka. I'm not gonna put Phil in there. I'm not a huge Phil guy. Uh, he's at the end of his career. I don't think he's been playing very well over there, but he's a big name. He brings views, right? So you got Brooks, you got Cam, you got Phil, you got DJ, you've got Taylor Gooch. Don't want to forget about that. Don't want to put an asterisk on this podcast. You've got John Rahm, such a John Rahm fan, and it sucks that I got to wake up at like 2 a.m. to watch them the last 2 weeks, right? They're in Hong Kong this week. Interested to see what the course looks like. Not really sure where they're playing yet, but I say all this because I'm more open to watching live. Not live, not at 1 a.m, but going back and having it on YouTube or whatever, their live app as I'm working, as I'm doing things at the house, as I'm, wherever I'm at, being able to listen or watch. So I say whatever they're doing, and I say all that because it's working. It's working. There's a huge live um, viewership, huge live community on X. They are just diehard live, right? Um, Rory said it in full swing, but it just seems like professional golf is better when they're all playing together. And that's just not happening right now. I got to agree with him. I don't want to have to go and watch 2 different tournaments to see John Rahm and Jordan Spieth play, or go see DJ play and Will Zalatoris. I don't want to have to do that. That's where we're at. That being said, make sure you're following, liking, subscribing. You can see all our handles on the banner below on the ticker. We're Great Bogey Pod on X, the Great Bogey Podcast on YouTube and Spotify. The more subscribers, the better. Interact with the post. We really appreciate it. Like I said, Jordan Spieth, winner, chicken dinner. And go for the top 10 bets. I like those. The two leg parlays probably hit for me about 25% of the time. It just sucks because all it takes is one bad hole and they're just out of it, right? So, looking forward to our next podcast. I'm hoping to do one next Wednesday as well, where we kind of recap this a little bit, talk about the players, and just keep this thing moving along. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll talk soon.